G'day guys, Jason Ninja here today. We are showing you 4 glute exercises for if you've got lower back pain. So these are sort of going to be able to quite low level, but you can progress them up as you get better. So let's get Ninja down on the ground. So we're going to start off with a pelvic thrust. So come around the side, Leo. Yep, Leo can come around the side. So the first thing with a pelvic thrust, we want Ninja to make sure his back is flat on the floor. So he's not in an anterior tilt where he's got a big arch through his lower back. So tuck your pelvis under. Feet about hip width apart away from your hammies there. You can extend them out a bit further away from your glute, so that you're not using too much of your hamstring. So just play around with that angle. And then from here, we're going to get Ninja to engage his glutes and squeeze up. That's it. And then holding there and then slowly coming back down. So he's keeping that posterior tuck in his pelvis and then he's squeezing back up. Come on, Ninja. Up. Good. And clench. So what you can actually do, put your hands on your glutes. So if you're not sure if your glutes are working, you should feel them actually tighten up and contract. So you want to feel that sensation. So actually poke your glute to make sure it's working. So get some feedback that that muscle is switching on. So you're going to go up and down. Let's go for another 10, Ninja.
What?
Nice and controlled. Yeah, we're going to grow your glutes.
Oh no.
So if you've got a flat ass out there and you've got back pain, this will be a good exercise for you. It's quite basic, low level, but it'll just start to get some stimulation through your glute and calm that lower back down. All right, I'm not good at counting, so how many have you done there, Ninja?
I'll do 2 more.
2 more, good. That's it, so keeping his knees tracking straight there. He's not bowing in or pushing them out too far, and then back down. What you're gonna do now, Ninja, we're gonna test you out. I'll come around this side so I'm out of the way. So you're gonna straighten one leg out. We're gonna do a single leg version. So you're keeping your thighs in line with each other, so that's gonna keep your pelvis nice and neutral. Okay. All right, so now we're just working one glute, and then slowly back down. Good, so squeeze, hold, and slowly back down.
That's a big difference.
Big difference, but it's good to make sure you're strengthening both sides and that they're balanced. Sometimes if you're doing both at the same time, you can sort of mask one stronger one can take over and sort of propel the movement. So just do 5 then in, so swap over. Let's see if the other side's the same. So it's also a good little assessment to see if you've got the same amount of strength in both sides. And I'm just observing to make sure that Ninja's not sort of, as he comes up, he's not rotating his hips too much and he's not just dumping back down to the floor. So he's got to control that movement back down. So he's holding that eccentric strength in his glute. So back down, good, Ninja. Couple more. Good. All right, then we're going to get him to stand up. So once you've done, sort of you can do 30 of the pelvic thrust with 2 legs and 5 to 10 single legs. We're going to stand up. We're going to get a more functional split stance hip hinge here. So I'll do this one with Ninja. So I'll go down the barrel, you go side on, Ninja. So what we're going to do, you want your feet hip width apart, and to measure, your back knee should line up with your front toes. All right, so it's our sprint start, but that's how we know we're not too far apart, not too narrow. From here, what you're going to do is most of the weight should be on your leg that is forward. So we want this glute here to be the one that's working. We're going to slowly start to hinge our hips backwards and dive our upper body forwards, keeping that weight on your front leg. This back leg should just be touching lightly. And from here, we should start to feel our glutes starting to light up. It might take a little bit longer if you're not sure. It sort of feels like that glute is lengthening. Also, what you can add in is rotate your opposite shoulder towards that glute. So rotating through your rib cage, not necessarily just moving your shoulders, but rotate through your ribs. That sort of gets that connection from your glute into your opposite shoulder. Once you've held there for a little while, start to slowly clench and you're squeezing the way up like you did with the pelvic thrust. Squeeze your glute and push your hips back through. So let's come and coach Ninja here. So come to the side. So he's pushing back. Expand this back pocket. Keep your hips nice and neutral there, Ninja. And you want to feel that glute light up. Once you start to get that sensation, then you slowly think about this glute pulling you up almost as you're standing up. So the glute squeezing forward, squeezing forward, squeezing forward, and coming through like that pelvic thrust. And then we're pushing back. So a lot of the time the glute can actually be stuck in a shortened state. If you're sitting down, it's short and tight. So this actually helps to lengthen but engage that glute. And then we can start to activate and squeeze and get it actually contracting in more of a functional pattern. So that's where the thrusts are good to start to get some activation, but this is good to teach that glute to lengthen, but also contract and shorten, and it's a more realistic exercise for people that are walking, running, and moving around and training in the gym. So that's why we want to progress to a standing exercise. And you shouldn't feel it too much through the knee because we're not lunging like this. So the difference is it's a hip hinge pattern. So our hip is going back, our knee's bending, but it's not moving forward. So see how my shin stays nice and straight there? And it's just all glute. So straight away, I can just feel my glute starting to light up there. As I said at the start, you might not feel that straight away. You sort of might feel, oh, I can't really feel anything. But just give it time, slowly move through, think a bit. Again, hand on your glute so you can feel it starting to contract. If you can push into it and it's soft, you're not actually contracting that glute. So that's something to think about, is having your hand there, okay, it's starting to get firm glute there. As you're coming up, it should stay contracted as you're coming through. All right, the last exercise we're doing is a functional glute. So this is an extension from that, so making it a bit more active. Do you want to have a go at this one, Ninja? I'll show you first, all right. Yeah. So grab a cable or a stretchy TheraBand, whichever hand is has the cable in it, that same leg is going to start back. So we're again working this front glute. So we're going through that hip hinge pattern. As I start to row the cable in, I'm going to stand up onto one leg, and the opposite arm comes up and through with the knee. Hold up here until you're stable, so this glute is locked on. Wait until you're balanced, and then we slowly start to transition back through that hip hinge. Pushing this glute back again. Back leg just touches lightly to get some balance, but we're not shifting all the weight backwards. And then once we're ready, we engage again, squeeze up nice and controlled, lock on at the top, and then slowly back through. The hip shifts backwards, the knee is softening, but again, it's not moving forwards and we're not going into a lunge. We're maintaining that hip hinge pattern, squeezing up. And you should start to feel that glute light up. If the glute's a little bit weak, sometimes you feel the calf. That's quite normal because you might be trying to grip the ground too hard. So just really try and focus in again. Find that glute at this start position. I can feel it just so burning there. And then think about squeezing it as you're coming up. Lock on at the top. If you're a bit wobbly, just put your foot back down, get some balance, and then go back through that movement again. All right, let's see Ninja do it. All right, here's the challenge.
Wow. Got a bit of weight on there.
Yeah. So the same leg starts backwards.
This one?
So we're leaning over. Yep, like a deadlift, so not quite that low. Yeah, there you go. So find that glute like we did with the split stance hip hinge. And then you're squeezing up, row this arm in. Up. Lock on at the top.
Wow.
That's it. Hold, Ninja, hold. Make sure it's on. And then you push the hips back as your upper body dives forward. That's it. Good. Keep the bum a little bit higher. That's it there. So find that position when you're coming back down. So don't let the knees bend as much. That's it. Locked on. And then hips come back. Knee softens but doesn't bend too much. That's it. Touch the back leg lightly just to give yourself a bit of balance. And then come back up. Let's come and have a look around the back here, Leo, just so we can have a look. So you can see this lat and everything is contracting as he hinges back. What he's doing now is this one now coming into this glute here. So it's replicating like we do when we run and walk. And we're running like this, we're rotating like that. All right, so that's what we're trying to activate, is that posterior sling, connecting shoulder to glute and getting that patterning going. All right, let's leave it there, Ninja. Safely put that one away. So yeah, if you've got lower back pain, these are 4 exercises that you can progress slowly up to. Yeah, starting with thrusts, then single leg thrusts, split stance hip hinge, functional glutes. Or if you're someone that's training in the gym, these are great exercises to help to grow your glutes and get them stronger, get them more functional so you can perform better. So yeah, give them a go. Thanks guys, see you next time.
Done.